Welcome, wrestling fans. We are back for another edition of Smarknado. It's been too long. I'm
Somebody
your
you might say better than ever.
yeah, except we're
That's
not
me.
Eric. Yeah, yes, yeah. You are better than Eric Bischoff, who had that song. But
Yes.
I'm your host, Eric Druckman. With me, as always, who you just heard is the Dirty Dan, Danaconda. Dan Sesnet. How you doing?
Whew! It's been an eternity since I've been here chatting with you and
We
the
were
glorious fans. Yes.
last time we
Been
were
great.
here. We were just talking about Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah. So we took a little hiatus there, but man, I'm excited to get back in the booth, as it were, the booth being my attic. Uh, but yeah, man, things have been good. A little bit of a break, but I'm excited to be back. How about you?
hey man, it's been kind of a wild month. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. It's
Yeah,
but it's all a part of life, you know. So
sure.
you have to move on. You have to keep moving forward, and yeah, and that's why we're here today. Kind of bring
Mm,
some normalcy back to this crazy world that we're living. Um, but wrestling, of course, is a wonderful escape. It's a wonderful way for us to just kind of enjoy life, really. Uh, Especially, the friends that it's brought me
It's
and the moments that I have shared with all of you.
we're in it for the moments. We're to be sports entertained at times, but yeah, man. Life can be a drag. We don't need to get into the happenings of the world. We assume that our listeners are well educated, so we're gonna escape into our normal Wednesday night 2 hours. So yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm
so before we get into Dynamite, before we jump into that, I did want to, because there's a big thing that happened, and God knows we missed a lot of big things
we do.
we didn't get to cover. But I would say the most recent one was the Blood and Guts match that happened the
Yeah.
week before on Dynamite.
Mhm.
Um, I have very mixed opinions on it. I would say, starting with my positive, I think as a blood and guts match, I think it was one of the better blood and guts matches that there have ever been. And maybe it was the best. I would have to look back, but it's certainly bell to bell. Um, the action in it, as well as the storylines that were intertwined and stuff, I thought it was amazing.
Hmm.
Um,
How many is this? Is this their third one?
I think it's the third. I think it's the
Hmm.
third.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my memory is slipping in my old age, but yeah, I thought Bell to Bella was good. I watched it last week, so it's not fresh in my mind like last night's episode
Mhm.
obviously is. Uh,
There,
this seems like it should be a pay-per-view match,
hundred
right?
percent.
Like I think that that's your main beef and mine too, is that with
Is
the commercial breaks and the it's fuckery, man. I
made
don't
it
like I don't like the
it made
commercial
it
breaks during
very
it.
chaotic to watch.
Yeah.
There were just like very very high points in the match that were followed by a commercial break that would just kind of take you out of that moment. And
Mhm.
it just they really need to rethink this whole thing. I mean,
It's
seriously.
I mean, it's a 2 hour show. You have to get your ads in. I get it, right? You have to make your money, right? That's what the networks want. So that makes sense. But yeah, this is a match that's better suited like an Anarchy in the Arena, to be a only at pay-per-view type situation. That's
Mhm.
in my opinion, right? I don't know.
I think most
Uh
people share that opinion, man. I
yeah.
don't think there's anyone out there that's going to be like, "Oh, what are you talking about? The commercials were great." You know.
No. No,
So
obviously.
yeah, I think it's pretty universally agreed that the commercials really do hinder the match. And if we're going to move on from commercials, I just want to mention the other thing that me personally I felt
Hmm.
hindered the match was the ending with Darby going to threaten to throw a flamethrower at Jack Perry, who was doused in gasoline. and his ultimatum was that he would be getting his match against Jack Perry for the TNT title at Wembley. And of course, that's how the match ended. They granted Darby
I
his match,
mean, I
and it
think
was
he also didn't want his stablemate to be lit on fire. I think that's
well,
probably an
yeah.
I quit moment.
Yeah. I
I,
mean,
I,
like that was implied. Um, but yeah, of course, he doesn't want that to happen. But I just thought that, like, from a character standpoint, that's just like, to me, like, Darby's only thinking of himself
a little
at
selfish, a
that
little
moment.
selfish, but
He's not thinking, like, because I mean, let's face it. You know, the acclaimed were in a very heated feud with the Young Bucks, so he could have just been like, and also give the acclaimed their tag team title match at Wembley. You know, like he could have thrown that in there too. You
I mean,
know,
the acclaimed already have their tag title shot.
oh yeah,
They're owed one. So
they
that I
they
mean
won the
that
eliminating match.
but I get what you're saying. He could have made it more about the betterment of AEW than about
And
Darby
himself.
himself.
Yeah.
I respect that opinion. It didn't take away from the match for me.
Yeah, I just I wish that it wasn't such a chaotic, silly ending to the match. You know, that's kind of out of the realm of wrestling because setting somebody on fire. You know what I mean?
I
Like
mean,
I just wish it
it's
was
on brand.
more of a traditional, like, you're putting through someone through a lot of pain and they tap out. You know, like that's more something I
Yes,
would like
I
to
mean,
see
but this
happen,
is blood and
especially with how
guts.
that
This is
match went and how violent it was.
I mean, it's blood and guts. You need the go big or go home ending, and I thought lighting someone on fire is kind of an end all be all. It's you need somebody to quit. That's gonna make somebody. It would make me quit. And I've burnt myself plenty of times.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm
I don't
not
know.
doubting the logic behind, yeah, of course you would quit if you were being threatened to uh, be put on fire. It's just not something that I preferred based on
It wasn't a wrestling match to me though,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like at the end of the day, this was more spectacle than wrestling match. And while your hopes for a different kind of ending are I obviously I always respect your opinion. I don't think that many would share yours. I think that that's the way they wanted the ending to be, right? In a
yeah.
match like this. I just
I'm
think more
looking
people would agree with me than you on this one. Because we get our fill of you know pure graps plenty of times, right? This doesn't happen that often, or not as often.
yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I think there's other ways to do, like, you don't see death matches ending that way a lot of times. You know,
Yeah, that's a. eh. See,
it just wasn't my cup of tea.
okay, fair point.
All right.
All right.
So, have we said our piece with blood and guts? Do you have anything else you want
I
to say?
think so. I think so. I thought it was the spectacle that I expected it to be, and I enjoyed it. When not always my cup of tea generally, but a fun escape from where the best wrestle.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's get into Dynamite from this past week.
Yeah.
First of all, the show started off with the new AEW American Champion MJF. Starting off the show, of course, we didn't talk about the epic 60-minute match that him and Osprey had, and wow, just like there's for people to say that like anyone in AEW doesn't tell stories, like these guys were just fucking masters at it, and
Yeah.
just like to the fact that they executed the very last spot within the last like 4 seconds of the match was just holy shit. You know,
People that argue that AEW doesn't tell stories are bad faith grifters at
yeah,
best.
or they just
And dog turd on my shoe at worst. You know what I mean? Like they don't watch. It's the people that say, well, if I watched, I would do it. I would do it this way. But like, you don't watch, and you don't work there, so shut the fuck up.
Mhm.
Like, but I digress.
Yeah, but I love what MJF is doing with this right here, turning it into the American title. I think it's just such a smart angle to do going into Wembley, you know, just being like this ignorant fuck American, because like MJF is obviously aware, keenly aware of the perception of a lot of Americans these days. So I think
Yeah.
he's just he's digging his claws into it. Even when he announced the American Championship, the place that they were at, I think they were in Nashville. There were just a lot of dumb fucking idiots that were all about it, you know.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's great. It's smart. And I think that him and Osprey once again are just going to tear the fucking house down. I think that this is just going to be a seminal match in, you know, the journey of Will Osprey to the world title, and maybe even the journey of MJF back to the world title too.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. MJF is boring me. He comes out and he cuts the same promo every week. It's boring. I don't like it that much. The shtick, I like the American shtick. I think that it's a smart play going into Wembley. I do. But the promo he cuts every week is, oh, shut up, you're all hicks. I beat everybody. I'm the best. Right? It's just, there's nothing clever about it to me anymore. It's just, I don't know.
Maybe he just needs to go back to the tool shed. If anyone knows how to freshen things up, that it's definitely MJF.
Maybe, but I
I
thought
certainly it doesn't. I hear what you're saying. I guess it just doesn't really bother me that much because like I'm always entertained by MJF.
Osprey cut a better promo last night.
He did, and you know who else cut an amazing promo was Fletcher.
Yep. Both of them cut better promos than MJF last night, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like I feel like MJF was just kind of doing his bread and butter. You
Yeah,
know, he
but
wasn't.
the thing, he always does his bread and butter.
I don't think
Like,
he
I get
always
it's your
does.
bread and butter, but like, he doesn't stray away from the same basic shit every single week. And I think he's better than that. I don't know. This personally, I just want to see Daniel Garcia come back and rip his head off. That's what I'm all about.
I think that's gonna be the plan. I think that you get all out him and Osprey, and then you get all in MJF and
Vice
Garcia.
versa.
MJF and Garcia. Yeah.
Vice versa, though. All out is after all in.
Oh, it's so fucking confusing, bro. I mean,
I know. Well, I mean, it's all in is first, all out is second.
all in is the one that's in Wembley, right?
Correct.
Yeah, all out.
Correct.
All out is when they're gonna
Do
have
Garcia versus.
yeah, in like Chicago, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's in Chicago.
All right, next we had an opening match that I going in had no doubt it was going to be one of the best matches, if not the best match on the show. Osprey versus Lance Archer. I don't know if they told the story on commentary at all, but this was a G1 opening round match in like 2019, I want to say. And this was fucking awesome when it happened then. This was a match that kind of broke out Lance Archer as a single star.
Mm-hmm.
And they ran it back. Osprey now is obviously a lot bigger. They still kind of told the same general story of like, you know, trying to slay this dragon, you know. And eventually Osprey brought him down to size, got the hidden blade. You saw the Spanish fly that he hit on Archer. That was pretty fucking incredible. The counters from Archer were really good in this match too.
Archer was great, but the kick out at one on the initial hidden blade pissed me off. I know it wasn't a very traditional one, but still a kick out at one after what is supposed to be a protected finisher. I can't.
Well, he hit it pretty early, didn't he?
No.
Oh, he didn't? Okay.
No, because he hit two in a row
to
win. So I just watched it today, so that's why I'm like it's fresh in my mind because I was at work last night. Um, but no, it was two in a row, and he kicked out at one like immediately, and
Mhm.
maybe Osprey did another move, and then bing bang boom, he hit the second one and closed it out or whatever. But no, that rubbed me the wrong way for a move that should be very highly protected.
I see that. I can definitely see that. I think that was probably, if I had to guess, more out of Osprey saying, "I really like Lance Archer. I want to do him a favor. So if he's not going to win this match, make him look strong by kicking out of like a protected finisher that one."
Maybe,
That's how I possibly see it.
maybe.
But I definitely hear where you're coming from. It is a fucking killer
To
finisher. It should be like what he hit it once and it's 1, 2, 3.
to me, Lance Archer is going to be the constant what if in AEW because he's a push and pull guy, man. His start they start to push him and they just pull the rug right out from under him.
They never
It's
really
always
gave
been the way.
it. I mean, at least I'm sure they have at some point, but he's never really been put in a memorable storyline. You know?
No, they just don't. But they push him as a monster, right?
Mhm.
And then he comes out and he loses all the time.
Yeah,
It's like it's just never been like a for a guy that talented, you know, I would like to see more of him as the dominant big man.
dude, he's somebody that I feel like would be good joining like the Callis family
Maybe
right
I
now.
think that they have eyes on Roosh, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah, that's true too.
which is an interesting pairing, if I'm
Mhm.
being honest.
But yeah, after this match, MJF came out and he beat up Osprey, and then Osprey got the save from Kyle Fletcher. And Kyle Fletcher cut a promo on MJF that we said was pretty damn good.
Hmm.
Um, I think I think he's somebody certainly to keep an eye on. And I don't makes me question if Aussie Open is even going to come back.
I mean, at this point, man, like I love the dude, but Mark Davis is just not ever healthy. Like
Yeah.
it sucks because they're one of my favorite tag teams out there, and the division is better for having them. But you know, the stop and start trying to make Kyle a star and then pairing him back up with Mark Davis right as soon as Mark Davis comes back and then just gets injured and like I don't know, man. It just it sucks the dynamic because he's capable of succeeding in both, but he's sort of just caught in purgatory.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree, man. It hurts
Yeah.
me because you know how much I care about them, and
Yeah, I
but
mean, you
I
introduced me
want
to them.
yeah, and I want the best for Kyle Fletcher too. But
Hmm.
I just hope at the end of the day this doesn't mean like the end for Mark Davis. You know,
Yeah, me too.
he's
I
great
I
too.
want to see him continue to wrestle. I hope he doesn't. I mean, I'm nobody. I don't know what his medical records officially look like, but he's just seemed to be injured since I've been a fan of them. He seemed to be injured more often than not, unfortunately. Um,
Indeed.
that's just the name of the game sometimes in a violent, contact sport.
Hmm. All right. Next was a backstage segment with the learning tree. All right. So it sucked. Sure. At least we didn't get that much of Jericho this week. And at least out of this segment, we're getting Brian Keith versus Shibata.
Which
Silver
is
lining.
gonna,
I think that's
yeah,
fine.
that's
Yeah.
the best matchup out of the three you can possibly get.
Yeah.
I think they've wrestled before, though, if I'm not mistaken, in AEW.
I'd have to check on that. But regardless, I'm looking forward to seeing them wrestle each other again.
I could be completely
Hmm.
wrong,
Yep.
maybe. Yeah.
All right.
I put keep Jericho as limited as possible. If he needs a TV time, that's the best way to do it. Completely agree.
For sure. All right. So then next we had Ooh, Willow and Chris Statlander eliminator match for the CMLL World Women's Championship. I thought these women worked their fucking asses off here.
Mm.
First of all, Chris with the 450 splash, You know, I liked the ending. You know, cheating to win. This is an eliminator match, so it's not for the title. So I think it's only right that Chris gets the win here in order to get the title match against Willow, which she'll probably lose. But yeah,
Yeah,
I like the chemistry between these two, and I think that Statlander is looking pretty good as a heel.
I was thinking that today when I was
And her
watching. I
beating
was
up
like,
the security guards at the end, bro, that was crazy.
yeah, I mean, she's one of the strongest people in AEW, man, woman, non-binary, no
Pound for
matter what.
pound thing, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but that was awesome. And I like I like Willow with an edge, right? Like I
Mhm.
like happy-go-lucky Willow, but the one that's like not smiling is just like scary, right? So like to me, I like this version of Willow where go ahead.
This I was gonna say in the same coin of this version of Willow, same thing right now is happening with the acclaimed, and I love it. Those guys have a huge edge right now, a chip on their shoulder, and not
Hmm.
taking shit, being dismissed as a comedy tag team. In the same way that Willow is not going to be dismissed by mistaking her kindness for weakness.
Hmm.
And it's the same kind of thing is going on right now with both of those characters, and it's working.
Yeah, it's an interesting catch. I didn't really put those two together in that vein. It makes sense to compare that. But they definitely need that little bit of an edge, especially when they go up against the types that they're going up against. And Stat has been a nasty heel. Um, Mark my word, like didn't make no mistake about it. Rather, um, but Willow with an edge is a scary Willow.
Indeed. And then next we had an in-ring segment. Danielson cuts a promo. Basically, just he's got a fire lit under him, especially coming out of what Jeff Jarrett said to him last week, and that he needs to go all in on this match with Swerve. Basically said that he has made a commitment that he is going to promise to win the world title as long along with the promises that he's made to his family. And Swerve came out, just kind of said, Brian, you have a good story and everything, but this is Swerve's era. And, Brian made a promise that if he's going to win the championship, and if he doesn't, it's going to be the last match he ever wrestles. So what do you say about this, Dan?
I mean, great promo,
Great
family
segment.
man promo from Danielson. Obviously, I I love the he's going to stop wrestling because truthfully, he gets to stop wrestling on his own terms, and that's great, right? Regardless of what happens at All In or going forward in the future, we were lucky enough, the universe has existed for billions of years, and we got to see live in real time arguably the greatest wrestler that's ever lived,
Mm-hmm.
right? So whatever he does, good for him. With all that being said, I think he wins the title.
I think
um,
so too. Yeah.
so, uh,
I can't
um,
I can't see it going the other way now. Now that he's made that declaration.
yeah, and I think the prediction that I had, you know, come across slash abide by is that he's probably gonna win it at All In and then lose it back at Wrestle Dream in Washington.
I can see that.
In what could arguably, in
That might be his
reverse,
last
right?
match.
In
That might,
reverse against Swerve. That might be his last match.
right, and that would be just great in the fact that these are two gentlemen that are from the state of Washington.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking,
Mhm.
but I don't think I don't know where Danielson trained specifically, right? What state that was in. So maybe that would be
Well,
a
he
place
trained. Well, he trained with Shawn Michaels. That's where he
in.
trained
Yeah,
in
so
San
I don't
Antonio,
know.
Texas.
His last match could be anything, right? It could be anything, but I see that as being like how the title sort of gets on Danielson for a short amount of time, and Swerve gets his steam back.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Oh wow, I am more excited for Wembley with that condition, man. It's I want to be on the edge of my seat for that match.
Wembley's gonna fuck around and be a show of the year type deal.
I agree. I agree, and they're really they're doing a fantastic build to it, which can't
Mhm.
really be. We can't say the same thing from last year as far as the build overall.
No,
You
no, a
know,
much
maybe
better
there were a
build.
couple of things that were built okay, but overall it was
I
not a good
mean,
build, and they're knocking it out of the
look,
park here with the whole card.
look,
Um, and then backstage you see Jeff Jarrett. He was cheering for Brian. And then Brian, slaps Jeff Jarrett's hat out of his hands and says, "You want to see if I'm all in? How about me against you next week?" So I'm curious about that now. I mean, Brian definitely looked babyface coming out of the Swerve promo, and this just seemed a little heelish.
it
Um,
did, but Swerve came off a little heelish and a little baby face-ish off of his promo too. So
yeah.
like there is no clear cut, and that's going to be something that's going to have to be decided on the fly in the ring, which is interesting.
Mhm.
Like the crowd's reaction is going to sort of dictate who's going to play babyface and heel in the ring. So I'm
Yeah.
intrigued to see how that goes down.
All right, and next we had everybody's favorite trio, the conglomeration.
The
Mark
conglomeration.
Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Ishii this time. They came out with Kyle O'Reilly against Roddy Strong, Roosh, and I believe this is the first. Was this the first Dynamite appearance for the Beast Mortos,
I do
the
believe
man
so.
formerly known as Black Taurus?
I do believe so.
All
Yes.
right, so holy shit, man. I mean this was a fun match and everything, but obviously the biggest takeaway here was with this being the Beast Mortos's debut, they certainly were trying to make it memorable because he got the pin on Mark Briscoe in this match, and it looks like we're going to be getting Beast Mortos versus Mark Briscoe for the Ring of Honor Championship sometime down the line. What were your thoughts on this situation?
Um, they I like the Beast Mortos a lot.
Hmm.
Right, I do. I think he's got a fucking awesome mask. I liked Black Taurus when he was that, right? The mask is good. He's a fantastic wrestler. Can wrestle any style, especially for a man of his size. Is he ready to be in he just lost a hologram on Collision.
Oh, did
Like,
he?
yeah,
That's kind of weird.
is he really ready to be your face of Ring of Honor? No, but do I think that a Briscoe versus the Beast Mortos mini feud would be hilarious? Absolutely. Why
I
not?
think I think so too. I guess just the kind of thing, the thing that kind of bothered me about this is just the fact of how important Mark Briscoe has felt on AEW television lately, in
Yeah.
terms of him being a part of Blood and Guts, him being kind of like the rallying voice of Blood and Guts, as well as like just how good he has been in his performances. It just kind of it made him feel a bit lesser than for him to just
See,
take.
win, lose, or draw, the Mark Briscoe is never going to feel lesser than. I have to disagree with you there. Um, he's he's he is an underdog type character. I don't think he lost anything by taking a pin. Do I think it should have been to the Beast Mortos? Probably not. Not how I would have booked it. But that's Mark Briscoe,
Well,
man. Like he's just a national treasure.
here's what I think. Like if they are going to look towards Mordos facing Mark Briscoe, maybe they just have Mordos beat Mark Briscoe so Mark Briscoe can like move on to having like TV feuds and like going after AEW championships, because like I just feel like he's more valuable on the main AEW show. He
Yeah.
obviously is because he's hardly on Ring of Honor TV at all,
No,
even though he's the champion. So like I think that there needs to be more of a focus of him as like an every week wrestler in AEW.
I mean, it's the internal complaint. Ring of Honor is just not being treated the way it should
No,
be.
no, it isn't. But like, I think that's like the main champions of that brand should be people that are kind of staying on that brand and also kind of need help with like, getting themselves back into like forward momentum.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that Mark Briscoe doesn't really need that
No,
because he has been doing so well on AEW television.
nor
And
does Athena for that matter.
yeah, I know. Well, Athena is just kind of like, I think they're just trying to like have her break a Guinness Book of World Record or something like that. I don't know.
Whatever they do, I think that she freshens up the women's division on
Mhm.
AEW, and the feuds that she could have would be really good. And I don't want to say what she's doing is being wasted. There are people that watch it and really enjoy it. I just don't watch Ring of Honor anymore. Like it's just
Mhm.
I just don't. It sucks.
Oh no,
It
there's
sucks that I don't.
really no reason to.
Yeah, I wish I could.
I'll say this. I'll just add this real quick. Um, I was in a hotel room on Saturday night.
Okay, buddy.
So, but like it was my uncle's 70th birthday party.
Oh.
So I didn't really have anything to do. So I turned on Collision and then I actually watched Battle of the Belts. And
Oh, really?
I wasn't expecting to do that. I actually really enjoyed it for the most part.
Oh, okay.
And it ended with the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles. It was the Undisputed Kingdom versus freaking Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erich boys. And Dustin and the Von Erichs won the trios titles.
Wait, hold
It
on.
was a pretty cool moment.
I'm confused.
What?
I thought that they unified the Ring of Honor and AEW trios titles.
I guess they got rid of them. They like I don't know.
Let's
I,
see. I don't watch Ring of Honor. This is how I lose things because I thought that
yeah,
they unified those bitches.
yeah.
Eek.
I guess they're still around, but I
Well,
mean,
good for them.
I think the fact that Dustin and the Von Erich kids are teaming up is pretty cool.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. I liked. I mean, I saw a little bit of the Von Erichs in what MLW, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So, but good enough for Ring of Honor,
yeah, absolutely.
and they'll be featured on that show.
Hmm. Yes, they will. They will. So I mean, maybe there's something going on there. Obviously, we heard with Ring of Honor tapings, like Sammy Guevara was back and he made the save for that trio. So
Yeah.
they are trying to add some star power to that
Yeah.
brand. Hmm.
I
All
mean,
right.
it deserves it.
So backstage, we had the Acclaim and Daddy Ass, and again, this is just a different Acclaim. They're pissed off at FTR, just kind of dismissing them, and I think on Collision we're going to see FTR versus the Acclaimed. I think that's going to be an awesome match. I'm looking forward to it. I hope that Wembley ends up actually with the Acclaimed getting the title shot instead of FTR, and it leads to an FTR heel turn.
Well, whatever it is, the Acclaimed deserve it,
They
not
do.
FTR. Truthfully,
Mhm.
it's. I know that they want to, have that rivalry with the Bucks, but that's one of those things. Just keep it on ice for a while, man. Just keep it on ice, maybe till next year's All In, right? Come back to it then, but let the
Yeah,
Acclaim do what they're doing right now. It's no, yeah.
yeah.
Turn for them would be
FTR
good.
shouldn't just be like shimmied into this situation,
Yeah,
in
it
my
feel it
opinion.
does. It feels shoehorned.
Yeah. So next we had Timeless Tony Storm came out, and oh my god,
It was awesome. She's just the best thing. This, oh, like this. This is the example I wanted to make. That when you said earlier about people saying that they don't tell stories, like how is this not a full-on soap opera that we've witnessed with violence?
it kind of makes me want to see All About Eve and just kind of compare it to what's been happening in this storyline.
I feel like I've watched some of it at one point when in my younger days when I thought it was cool to watch old movies and shit.
Oh wow,
But
I was
I,
never that cool.
I'm I'm not. I'm here doing a fucking wrestling podcast. I'm not that cool, guys. Fucking newsflash in case you listeners didn't know. But yeah. So
All right. So next, we saw the newest member of the AEW roster, Camille, the Brick House. They're calling her. She came out with Mercedes Monet, and she faced a jobber named Brittany Jade. And this was a bit.
enhancement talent.
Yeah, this was okay.
It was a squash.
It was a bit clunky, in my opinion. I think that Camille, I don't think she's bad. I just think she's kind of been out of the ring for a while. So maybe she just kind of needs to get her footing back. There were some spots that were just kind of rough, including her trying to do the Rough Rider that Zack Ryder does.
Oh yeah.
Kind of whiffed on that.
She didn't really like whiff on it. She just kind of stuck her fucking crotch in that poor girl's face.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
or maybe not poor girl. I don't know.
Depends on who she is. But anyway, I think it is a good combination of her as the heavy for Mercedes. Mercedes definitely has a character where she would have a heavy,
Mhm.
and she's calling it. What does she call her? The Monet Corporation. Is that
Let
what
me
it's
see
called?
here.
It doesn't say
The
in the
money incorporation,
Money Incorporation.
which I hope is a typo here because that's dumb.
Yeah, because that's literally the same. That's IRS and fucking Ted DiBiase, isn't it? Not.
Yeah, it's Money
Money Inc.
Incorporated.
That's Money Inc. Yeah,
It,
yeah.
She should call it Monet Inc.
Monet Inc. I think Monet Inc. kind of works.
It would be better than Monet and Money Incorporation.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking stupid. It's so bad.
Yeah, why did they write that?
I hope it's a typo, like genuinely,
Yeah.
but continue.
All right, the main event was Adam Page versus Darby Allin. This kind of caught me off guard. I don't even know if they announced this.
They did.
If they did,
Yeah.
I was just not paying attention. But I thought it was a really good match, and I missed the ending because I had to leave Drew's house. But I read that Darby got a flash pin.
Yeah.
So this is just going to make Hangman angrier right now.
I hope so. I love Deranged Hangman. Deranged Hangman is.
Do you think he could be the reason why Darby doesn't win at All In?
Maybe. I don't know if he has a match. Who's Hangman gonna wrestle at All In? He's got to have a match, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know. They could do the fucking World Heavyweight Championship thing and have him be the referee of Darby versus Jack Perry.
The EVPs force him to do that.
Oh yeah, that man, they could do that.
That'd be fun. I love fantasy booking.
It would be fun. Fantasy booking is a great time, but Dan, we're making a return right now of a very well loved segment here on Smarknado. Top
five, bang bang.
Top five, everybody. Because we are in the season for this weekend, let's do our top five favorite SummerSlam matches of all time. Do you have any honorable mentions, Dan?
No, sir. I have 5 and only 5, and I'm sticking by them.
Me too. I only have 5. All right. How about you start it off, sir, with your number 5?
All right. My number 5 is John Cena versus CM Punk 2011. Not quite as good as Money in the Bank, obviously, the classic, but still a really good match. Funky ending, but you know, it's WWE. What do you expect? But Cena has always gotten a rap as a bad wrestler, and well deserved at some points, but um, there are certain people that have always carried him to really great matches, and he is always, despite losing at SummerSlam more often than not, I believe his record is a losing one. Um, he always tends to put on really classics, and this is one of them.
Absolutely. And to your point, my number 5 is John Cena versus Daniel Bryan from SummerSlam 2013.
13. Yep.
And similarly, this is a match where John Cena is in there with a true ring general who can really bring him and build, put him through a fantastic match. I try to avoid using the word carrying because of the negative connotation that goes with that. But like, because John Cena is capable on his own and anything,
Absolutely.
these guys just kind of enhanced what John Cena could do. Of course, Daniel Bryan in this match, phenomenal bell to bell action, but he ended up winning. He won the world title, but if you remember, this ended with Randy Orton cashing in the Money in the Bank, and him and the Authority at the time fucked over Daniel Bryan. So obviously, I think this would have been much higher on my list had the ending not been the way it was.
Yeah, it just made Daniel Bryan that much more likable. So yeah, that makes total sense. It's a really good one. Um, my number 4 is Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog, 1992. I know that this ends up as number 1 on most people's lists. Um, for me, um, the other matches just were more exciting. This was just a technical masterpiece, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So
I
I'm
agree with
sure this
you.
is on your list at some point.
It is
So
on my list at some point, and we'll talk about it then.
absolutely.
But yeah, I think that's a great pick. That should be on anyone's top 5 because it is, and just the fact that we know from stories told by Bret Hart that Davy Boy Smith was like smoking crack just an hour earlier. It's even more of a testament to how good Bret Hart is.
Hey, sometimes you got to carry somebody through a crack binge.
Yeah,
It's just what it is.
sometimes. Exactly. All right, my number 4 is The Rock versus Triple H ladder match for the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam 1998.
This almost made my list.
Oh, that's great. This
It
one
was
just
close.
always sticks out for me. I would say like before like the Hardys and Edge and Christian kind of made the ladder match just such a amazing thing and reinventing it and all that. Uh, this was a ladder match, like probably the first one that I had seen live before on pay per view.
Yep.
It just really sticks out to me because these are two guys that aren't really like spot dudes in terms of like big ladder spots or anything like that, but they
No,
just made it very violent and they just like use the ladder as a weapon effectively.
they always
And
had such great chemistry too, and I wouldn't say either of them were really great wrestlers. No, they were not. But they always had really good feuds.
yeah, yeah, 100%. And the fans, and it's so weird that this match is one of the few matches in the entire like run of The Rock and Triple H where Triple H is the baby face and The Rock is the heel. And Triple H was the fans were so behind him, and him winning the Intercontinental title in this match was such a big moment.
Mhm.
And yeah, it always this match will always stick out in my mind as one of my favorites.
All right. All right. So let me get my list back up here. My number 3. You're going to question these, but these are favorites, remember,
Mm-hmm.
is the Fatal 4-Way from 2017. That was between Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, Samoa Joe, and why am I drawing a blank now, right in here
Right,
live? No,
right, right. Why
it was
didn't
it
you write
Brian?
this down?
I didn't. I didn't. Yeah,
Let
it
me look
was
it up.
Braun, Samoa Joe. And Roman. Duh.
Roman. Okay.
Um, while this isn't the greatest match in history, this was at the height of when Strowman was like everybody was kind of rooting for them, and you were one of them too. So don't pretend like you weren't. This was like the height of his babyface run, where he was pushing shit over and knocking shit over. And while it wasn't a good time in WWE, it wasn't. This was a
Mhm.
really fun match. And it showed Brock Lesnar being a badass, and Samoa Joe was a badass in this match. And I just remember watching it and just being amped the entire time. So say what you will about it, and the era of WWE that it was in, but hell, it was a very fun match.
Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to go back and watch it and just
It
kind
was
of
good.
see it again.
Hmm.
I I do disagree. I'm sure I was rooting for Samoa Joe
Yeah, I
more than.
definitely was. I recall it vividly.
Mhm. All right, my number three is the aforementioned Bret Hart versus Dave Boy Smith, SummerSlam 1992. I encourage everybody to go back and watch it. It is just great wrestling, and just
Mhm.
it's not only great wrestling, but those fans just really help out that match too a lot. Wembley Stadium. What can I say?
All in, baby.
Hmm.
All right. Oh, what are we down to? Number two?
Yes,
All right. My number two is also fairly recent, and it places number two rather than number three, but it is the AJ Styles versus John Cena 2016.
that is my number two. Also,
All right. So here we are. I bet you we have the same number one as well.
yeah,
Uh,
probably.
but man, this was an indie style match that
Yeah,
John Cena wrestled.
it was, and it was a huge shock for me when they actually gave the win to AJ Styles. I was just like, I was so relieved, Um, whenever Cena like puts over a a beloved like work rate talent, it feels like validation. Like they are worthy of like being on top of the wrestling world, and this was the gateway to AJ Styles becoming WWE champion and
Yeah.
having the great career that he's had. So yeah, this not only this match itself, but just this match is like such a great launching point for the rest of AJ Styles' career. That along with AJ Styles' feud with Roman.
Yeah, absolutely. Great matches with Roman. It is it's crazy to think now that AJ has been in WWE longer than any other promotion. You know, yeah, when he first
He's been in
debuted, we
there
were
longer than TNA.
yep,
Wait, so it's been 8 years in WWE.
I'm pretty sure.
No, he was in TNA longer, bro. TNA started in 2002, and then he was out of there by like 2013,
Are
2014.
you sure?
Yeah, I am. Trust
I'm
me
gonna have
on
to
this.
look. I'm gonna look into this, but I'll
Source,
trust you. I'll
source,
I'll
source.
I'll
Trust me,
trust
bro.
I'll trust you, bro. But I still have to look into it. But anyway,
Fair. So let's on the count of three. Let's say at the same time, our number one match in the history of SummerSlam, our favorite match in SummerSlam history.
one,
One,
two, three, go or one, two, three.
one, two, three.
One,
One, two,
two, three.
three. Bret Hart
TLC.
versus Mr. Perfect.
No.
SummerSlam 91.
TLC 2000, baby.
Okay. Oh, that's good too.
Man. I
I
thought we were
thought
gonna
we were
have the
going to
same.
say the same thing.
Oh, that was embarrassing, folks. No, I definitely thought you were gonna have the same one as me, man. While not as memorable as two, I think it just set off that style in the mainstream and
Mhm.
whew, but
Well,
but
those are awesome matches. Don't get me wrong. And even when I was talking about this with Drew yesterday, he mentioned that match too. Um,
Yeah,
but
he's a
I'm
hardy
kind of
mark.
firm on the five WrestleMania matches, I'm sorry, SummerSlam matches that I love. And I did a lot of this just kind of thinking it in my head. I didn't like use a reference or anything like that. Just kind of like what
Oh,
came
me
to
too.
mind as like my favorite matches, you
I
know?
think I think
So
the only one that I had to really think about was not the 2017 or 2016, that's for sure. Damn, I think they all just popped into my head.
hey,
That's
man,
cool for us.
I'm glad that we had different number ones. Not too
I am
predictable.
too. I mean, I don't like to be completely embarrassed on live YouTubing, but
Yeah,
uh but you know what I mean. But yeah,
yeah.
man, on to, SummerSlam currently, which is
Hmm.
truly to me shaping up to be a really good show. Um
For
because it only has 7 matches and it's on a Saturday.
yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. So let's do our little who you want to win, who we think is going to win.
Yeah,
What?
absolutely,
All
absolutely.
right, let's start it off with the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Got Sami Zayn defending against Braun Breaker. I want Sammy to win. I'll always want Sammy to win, really, no matter what match he's in with somebody. Um, So I just can't help but think that this is because Breaker lost last time. I feel like
Yeah,
Breaker's not going to win this, not going to lose this time.
correct.
Yeah,
Sammy, if you don't want Sammy to win, you're kind of a dork. But Braun Breaker is gonna win. He's gonna. I don't want to say
he's
bring
not going to
back the.
destroy him.
I don't think he's gonna. No, I was gonna say I'm. He's gonna. I think he's gonna have a long reign, not Gunther long, but like long.
A nice dominant reign
Yeah.
for sure.
Hmm.
All right, for the WWE United States Championship, we got Logan Paul defending against LA Knight. Of course, I want LA Knight to win because I'm a good person. And if you are a good person, you don't want Logan Paul to win anything.
Yeah.
Um, and I
Fuck
think
Logan Paul.
LA Knight does win. And a big contributing factor to why I think LA Knight is going to win is coming out of the last 24 hours of Logan Paul saying some very transphobic things on Twitter.
Yep. I don't want to talk.
It
I
was
don't want to talk about it. I don't want to. It makes me angry. It's I
Can I just
because
say
I
one thing that I read
yeah.
today?
Sure.
There has
Sure.
been a serious misunderstanding and a jump to conclusions in regard to that boxing match that happened in the Olympics. The woman that won is not a trans person. It's a matter of the testosterone levels were like higher on the testing, slightly higher, so it didn't like meet the gender qualification. It's some sort of weird like doping uh, um, controversy.
Anomaly.
It doesn't have to do with somebody being trans. So, therefore, this story should not have produced a visceral transphobic reaction from people like Elon Musk and Logan Paul.
All right,
So,
so we're talking about it. So I'll just say what it is. She's from Albania, right? It's Albania,
yeah,
Algeria. Where is it?
I don't, Albania, I think.
Either one. Regardless. I'm not gonna, speak out of total ignorance, but I do know that being a trans person in that country is illegal.
Yeah.
So please tell me what transphobic government is going to allow a trans person to represent them in the not the most masculine of, but one of the most masculine of sports,
Yeah.
punching somebody in the
It
face.
just
Like,
doesn't make sense, and the like I heard the people screaming about it, so I actually did some research today and read a few articles from the AP about it,
mhm.
and it's very obvious that this isn't a trans person. It's just a
No, it's
matter of
not. It's a bunch
elevated
of
testosterone levels on a test. So the fact that out of this has come so much trans hate and transphobic comments. It's disgusting, and there are these fucking people out there like J.K. Rowling that just jump on it any chance that they can get, and it's really just disgusting and
You know what
unfortunate that
though?
they need
At
to
the
speak so loud about something they don't know anything about.
but at the same time, it just shows the ignorance. So let them
Mhm.
scream,
Yeah.
right? Like I hate the hatred, but if they're gonna show their ass, let them,
Mhm.
right? Like if they're gonna say this is what it is, fuck it, let them dig their own grave. I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah, but like those kind of people with the influence that they have, I'm sure the trans community doesn't need that hate coming at
mhm,
them as a
you're right.
result of those
You're right.
stupid people's words. You know what I
I
mean?
just I just am all for people exposing themselves for what they really are.
Yeah,
That's just what
I
I'm
can
about.
see that perspective too. But let's go back to predicting SummerSlam. Um, Women's Championship, WWE Women's Championship. We got Bailey versus Nia Jax. I want Bailey to win. You know what? I think Bailey's going to win.
Me too.
I, but then
Me
there's a
too.
part of me that thinks like they're going to do Rock a solid and put the belt on Nia Jax.
I
That's my fear.
I don't think that that's true. I think Bailey deserves to win. I think she's gonna win.
Do you think that Bailey wins and then we get a cash in and Tiffany Stratton?
Maybe. Why not? Because you're not gonna have Tiffany try and cash in on Naya.
No, no, exactly. All right, and then next for the WWE Women's World Championship, Liv Morgan defends against Mommy Rhea Ripley. Oh man, this fuck. I'm interested in this, but like I'm just I'm just so interested in how this storyline's going to play out as a result of this match. Like on one side of things, you know, you're wondering what Dom's going to do. Seemingly he's with Rhea. And then you've got this other element of Finn Balor and the fact that they've been like planting clues that like he's been going into Liv Morgan's locker room and shit like that. So I'm just interested to see like what kind of comes out of this. I can't help but think Liv Morgan retains, but I think Liv Morgan will retain in some sort of way that progresses the storyline, and I think there will be a turn.
So probably a I see, I think Dom is gonna ultimately choose Liv.
Yeah.
I do. That's the way I see it. And I think that it's just going to cause a split. And I think ultimately Damian Priest probably goes out on his own as well.
Oh yeah, I totally see Damian Priest going out on his own. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this is going to play out because I don't have it that well defined in my head of where the sides are going to lead to.
Well, that's good though because
Yeah,
it
yeah,
keeps us on our toes, right? So
exactly.
I'm kind of psyched to not really be sure where exactly we're at.
Hmm.
So it should be interesting. Um, Raw's been pretty good lately.
It has. For the undisputed WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes defends against Solo Sikoa. You know what my prediction is here?
I don't.
Cody wins. Cody retains. We get the return of the tribal chief, Roman
The
Reigns,
real tribal chief.
and he gets in the face of Solo.
I mean, that's the best way it could end, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am definitely all for the return of Roman. I've had enough of him being gone. I could do to see him again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
Cody in
man,
this, by the
it's just
way.
it's amazing how this guy has done nothing, but he has become the biggest babyface in the company in his absence.
Yeah, it's an intriguing intriguing thing, isn't it? The wrestling fan, the
Yeah.
mind of the fickle mind of the wrestling fan, because you know the ups and downs that that poor guy has had to go through his entire career. I don't know that anybody. Cena, maybe like sort of the love and the hate from the fans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but I'm excited to see him come back, and I hope that is the case. But yeah, I got
Yeah,
Cody here. Solo ain't winning shit.
for sure. And then next we have Damian Priest defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Gunther. Of course, I'm always going to back my boy Gunther, and I think he does win.
I do too.
Yeah.
It's the reign of the Ring General, King General. Yeah, that's gonna happen. I like Damian Priest, but I think this is where Finn could cost Priest, and a
I
rift
could,
could form.
I could see that too. And I think Damian Priest would at this point be better suited as like a cool baby face.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
hope he doesn't fade into the background as like that guy that won Money in the Bank.
I hope he doesn't
And
become Sheamus, like bad Sheamus, not like new cool again Sheamus. You know what I mean?
yeah, I
Like
know what you mean.
Sheamus for like 10 years, like fledging as just a lame baby face.
Yeah,
Um, all right, and then finally, the grudge match of all grudge matches. One man cost a man 1,000,000 title shots and repeatedly tries to ruin the other man's life, and the other one stole the other man's bracelet.
seems fair.
So it's pretty even. Yeah, it's pretty even the sides here as far as like who has the most to gain by beating the shit out of their opponent. CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins is the special guest referee because why not?
I
All right,
think
I'll admit I heard this on another podcast, but I just could not stop laughing at it. When Seth Rollins came out on Monday night and he came out in that referee like blouse.
yeah, I
He
loved it.
said, he said, I could give this shirt back right now to Adam Pierce. It just made it sound like Adam Pierce gave him a fucking like referee blouse rather than a referee shirt. I just thought that was
I
so
can't
funny.
wait to see what his outfit's gonna be for this match.
Yeah, he's gonna
I
look like
hope
a
it's
fucking zebra, bro.
I hope it's
He's
not
wearing
just a
zebra fur, like legit. But yo, I just hope Drew McIntyre beats the ever living fuck out of CM Punk. Just because like I do not understand, like from a logical standpoint, why anyone would want CM Punk to win this match. Like it's not even. Like
he's
this guy
embarrassing.
is he's doing things to Drew out of spite. Uh, but he's ruining Drew's life. He's like scorch earthing on Drew McIntyre after Drew
Because of some
McIntyre just had that shirt about CM Punk getting injured. Like he has done so much to Drew at this point. Like
it's
Drew
so
needs to
good
get
though.
his revenge.
I mean, the picture with Jack Perry is just mwah.
Yeah, love
Um,
him.
so I don't know, man. He's a definitely up there for hater of the year as far as both of them really. A
Yeah.
level of hatred. So truth be told, it should be probably a pretty good match. If Phil doesn't get hurt again,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that Drew wins.
I hope so. I fucking hope so, bro. Oh my god, this guy CM Punk. Just fuck him, bro. Oh,
That's the only non-title match on the card. That's crazy.
yeah, yeah. And
It's
that's
gonna
the
be a
one I
good
chose to
show.
talk. That's the one I chose to talk about last because I just have the strongest feelings on it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good show though. I'm pretty
Yeah, it
excited
is.
for this.
It is.
What?
I love the Saturday shows with the shortened card.
Yeah, I don't know what time I have to work on Saturday, but I'll tell you what, I definitely would like to watch it live. I hope I'm not working.
I'll tell you what. Yeah,
I'll tell you what.
I do too, man. I hope you do get to watch it live. I certainly will.
Oh, I will not, but that's a bummer. But that's fine. I'll watch it on Sunday.
All right, Dan, I think that's just about it for today. It's really nice to be back. We are going to be back next week and going forward. And if any of you want to, give us some ideas of top 5 topics, we're always welcoming those. And
Yeah, shoot me an email, smarknado@gmail.com.
yeah, we use it all the time.
I do actually. I use it to scam free trials on shit. It's dope.
All right. Hey, we're getting some action in that old email address, aren't
Hello Fresh, here I come.
we? As always,
Sponsor
guys,
me, bitches.
follow us on Instagram at Smarknado, on Twitter at Smarknado1. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Go check out our link tree. Included in there is our YouTube as well as our What a Maneuver store. Danny, you have anything left for us?
No, no funny, nothing. Just stay fresh, cheese bags. I miss y'all.
Keep watching wrestling.